Welcome to All Kinds. I'm Kaya.
And I'm Yehudis. So Kaya, what's today's topics all about?
We're going to talk about all kinds of things, from minding your own business to the joy of cozy / the art of lazy, and about Myka, who likes to give back.
Awesome.
So speaking of minding your business, why is it so hard? Why do you think that is?
People love to tell other people what to do. There are those types of people.
Well, I just find it strange. So the way I was raised, I was an ultra-Orthodox religion, so we didn't have that term. We just had this don't speak ill of people kind of thing.
Right.
But it wasn't about like you can't get in someone else's business. But I find lately people volunteer and ask me about my business that they have nothing to do with.
That could be annoying. Like, what has happened?
Not even ask, just speak on it. So I see that a lot generally at work.
Me too.
I think it's usually the losers who like to drink the Kool-Aid.
It's the worst. I personally dealt with that.
It's not that we don't care about where we work. Some people think the work really does care.
Well, there are those workers that unfortunately believe it's the workers that say we instead of I. People who are, I guess, selling products, but they don't get any commission. And they'll say, a corporate email will go out saying, oh, we hit our target. And those workers will celebrate. But they're not getting anything added to their check.
Right.
It's those type of people that say we and yeah, we got
and
this.
They say that, but then they close a blind eye when something's like against everyone.
Absolutely.
They're like, it's in the interest of the company. I'll give you an example. Like I was working at this big American company and we were doing well. We enjoyed working there. I loved the team. And we had this friend who was working there and she came running over to us and she's like, oh my goodness, this other guy who I know from works on a different team, he's mad at me because I told HR that his broken leg really wasn't that broken, so he's been on disability. And she turns to me and my friend at the time and she goes... She ratted out her friend. Yeah, so her friend had been in an accident. And I guess it wasn't as severe as he was saying to the company, he wanted more time off, I guess. But this is like $1 billion company, right? So he had taken a few extra days and he said, yeah, my leg's still not great. But she ratted him out. She took it upon herself to go
tell
to HR.
Why?
So this is the thing. So we're just sitting there, right?
Mind your business.
This is it. She comes up to us and she says to us, can you believe he's mad at me? Because he accosted her. He said, I just got a call from HR. Obviously, it's you. You're the only person I told that it's not as bad. And so she's like, can you believe it? He's stealing from us. And we both looked at her. We were
that's what I mean. Those we people, those.
Yeah, we were like, why did you say something? That's between him. And it's not us. The company doesn't give a rat. They tried to reduce our salaries. What are you talking about?
And what did she say?
She just couldn't get over it. She was very no, this is taking from all of us. I'm like, no, it actually isn't in any shape or form. It is. We are working like dogs. They personally come to Canada so they can pay us cheaper than in America. You know what I mean? And we know they're paying us less than our U.S. counterparts. We're not idiots. We speak to the counterparts from time to time. And I get it. Fine. But it's not like it was an okay company, but they weren't going above and beyond for us.
I think those type of people.
So why couldn't she mind her business?
I think those type of people are the ones who would be in the Soviet Union or communist regimes saying, yes, you're the best, the Kremlin's the best, they'll be soldiers for whatever is necessary, even though it's no benefit to them. It's
right.
those
even
type
if it's
of people.
Hurting them. Yeah.
Even if it's
Kremlin's
hurting
arresting
them.
her grandma.
Right. She don't care.
And she's well, Granny's against the state. She deserved it.
I personally have dealt with that as well. My last job, I had a guy who's, he loves to give me unsolicited life advice.
So you're just sitting there minding your business.
I'm sitting there minding my business. I'll come in late to work, 2-3 minutes late, which is really not late, I think, in an office job.
And there was a dust up when you came in at 8:05.
At 8:00. Well, so yeah, I was getting to it. I came in at 8:05 and my coworker was like, you are late. He's not my manager who could absolutely tell me, hey, Judith, you're late. Or Yehudis. I go by Judith. Yehudis and Judith are the same name, just different languages. But I'm not going to say Yehudis at work. Hey, Judith, you're late. It's 5 minutes. No, he was my coworker, and he genuinely had an issue with me coming at 8:05.
What's this? Why? How does this affect
We
him?
are not heart surgeons. We are not doctors. I'm not saying I come in at 8:05 all the time, but obviously if I came in a few minutes late, it's my business to worry about and my managers. It's no one else's. And, he would do this a few times. And I actually, best thing with these people, about the mind your business is that when you make them look stupid, I said I had enough. I said, what is it to you? How is it affecting you?
That's right.
He goes, well, it just, we all have to come in. And I said, okay, but that's for me to deal with. The next day he apologized.
Oh, good.
He was embarrassed because I'm sure he went home to his wife and he told his wife, and any other woman would be like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Any person, I don't even think it's a woman or any person would be like, why would you care? Like,
yeah, I don't know if it's like a cultural thing or whatever. It just seems that some people just were not raised with the whole mind your business. I didn't ask you.
Well,
you don't need to volunteer to get in my business.
I said in my last job as well, my husband and I were going to, start having babies maybe in the first or second year of our marriage. And this person's like, no, you need to travel a bit. You need to do this. They don't know anything about my personal life. And it's rude. If I'm telling someone, a coworker, very personal information that, I'm going to grow, my family.
Was he suggesting it or he was lecturing?
It came out as a lecture. Okay. If I'm saying that, it's not for you to tell me, you're not my rabbi. You're not, my life coach. You're my coworker. Just say congrats and shut your mouth. Yeah. There's certain boundaries.
These are the kind of people who don't understand, I guess, the whole girl code, bro code thing. These are the kind of people who like
Absolutely
when you were a kid or a teenager, like, how now you have to like give a disclaimer, like don't say anything. Like if someone tells me something.
We have to say that because of these people.
But it's understood there's like a girl code. And also like people don't get how like if that person isn't there and you guys are talking about them, people always wonder like, oh, well, why is she telling her what she said? Well, it's not right to trash someone and they're not there.
Well, these people now are called Karens, which I love because it's true. It's always these people who care about.
I think Karens are the ones who need to see the manager.
Right. But it's also Karens at the workplace or Karens who just, if I come in at 8:05, I'm going to have, this guy, I'm going to call him Karen, accost me for being late when it has no value to them. They're just Karening for no reason.
I think you had that problem there when you were leaving. Let's say you had told me a few times, like you had to leave for whatever reason, and this person could not handle when you.
And I've already discussed it with my manager, or I remember. Oh yeah, that's true. I had an incident where I told my manager, "Hey, I need to leave early. I have some type of dentist appointment. Who knows?" So at like around 3:00, I'm packing up my stuff. I'm like, "Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow." He's like, "Oh, you're leaving? Why? What?" And I said, "I discussed it with my manager. Bye." And he actually asked me a few times too, oh, does this person know? Does my manager know? Like, he'll ask me these questions. Like, what is it to you? And I said that to him the last time. I said, you know what? Why don't you check it up with him?
Yeah, check it up.
And he felt like an idiot. I mean, who are these people? They need to mind their business.
No, I just am not for it. I mean, it even extends to like these people, they think they're doing something good for the company. I remember I was working at this company and the VP was like sexually harassing all these people. Right.
Oh, and so that's a crazy story.
Right. No, so my friend, she comes forward and I had like witnessed some of this. Right. Like, and she's like, could you be a witness? I said, absolutely. Like, like she wanted to come forward. He had tried to give her some kind of better job. Everyone was noticing it. I mean, it was her business, but she asked me to come forward. I'm going to come forward. Anyway, so the whole thing was they ended up, because especially back then, like people didn't come forward because if you did come forward, you were under scrutiny. Nobody, everyone didn't believe you and you're just trying to get this job. But everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows he's a pig and people who either go along with it are collaborators. We saw that a lot. That was what we were up against. So HR, it's this lady and she was all talking about like women values and everything. I come forward. I'm in good standing in the company, right?
Mm-hmm. As you should be. Mm-hmm.
After when it all ended, I gave my, they tried to like intimidate us with a big law firm, but I was ready.
Right.
And afterwards, they were like, oh, well, he's learning. So you know what? I was like, what? Like at the time I'm in my 20s, I'm like, he's learning. They're like, he's young. I'm like, he's in his 40s. Like, this is not an excuse, And I'm like, what about me? And like, they stopped me from moving forward in my career. There was a whole thing. But my point is, these people, she couldn't mind her business. And then I see she goes to this other major company where she's like director of HR. So I made sure because, I have my LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So when the whole like Me Too thing and everything happened, I'm like looking at her profile. I'm like, yes, bitch. I'm like, hope you enjoy. Don't try to be one of these women.
No, and they totally will be.
I know she had the
premium.
Did she ended up? So she is definitely seeing my look.
So what happened?
Well, nothing happened. I confronted her. I said, it's disgusting. And what about me? I was supposed to be next in line for this management position and all that. I'm like 26. I ended up leaving the company because nothing was going to happen. There was nothing I could do. We had tried to do it, you know?
That's happened. I had a job 2 years ago where I thought I was literally in the 1950s. I had to go for like 5 interviews. After the 5th one, I said, I'm sorry, like you either want me or you don't. Fine, I get the job. It's this big, fancy financial place. It's in a beautiful place in downtown Vancouver, beautiful view, open layout, really nice. I get there on my first day and it's just me, 2 other women, and the rest are guys, which is not a problem. Who cares, right? Until my first day, the other women were okay with it, but they weren't really okay with it. These are like our first day. Let me backtrack. They said, hey, Judith, do you mind if we change in the office? All the other ones don't mind. And I said, actually, I do have a problem.
Just to say, I remember you told me that these guys are changing completely out of their suits.
Completely.
Like biking gear.
No, they're
stripped to the boxers.
Right. They're stripping to the boxers, VPs, they're financial traders. They can't go to the bathroom, even though there's a huge bathroom.
Right.
They wanted to change in front of us. We were all 3 young, pretty women. And these women, the ones next to me, part of being part of a big family is I know personalities. And these women were clearly not comfortable, but they also didn't, if you said, hey, no, they didn't want those men thinking, oh, I'm not chill.
She's not down with it.
She's not down with it.
She's a prude uptight.
The minute I said something, the women were still quiet because, they don't want to jeopardize. Here I am coming in a month new. And I said, actually, I do have a problem with it. If you don't mind changing the bathroom. And then I said, oh, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, actually, I don't mind. Can I also change?
That's the thing.
And their faces, the minute I said that, it changed the dynamic.
Yeah, can I just get in my bra and my panties? And
of course you can't.
No.
And they wanted us, what I really think down psychologically, they wanted us to look at these gross ass middle-aged men. They got off on it, on the power, because we had low-level jobs, all the women in the office. We weren't the financial traders. I was an administrator. The other one was an EA, which is a good position, but it wasn't, you're not bringing millions.
You don't have the power in the office.
Right. Yeah. And they fired me after that month. Keep in mind, I was shocked. And when they fired me, the person that I was supposed to work under, he had 3 people in the room just to say I'm let go. And the owner was shocked at my response that I handled it so well when they were letting me go. I said, oh, can I go and take my stuff in the office? They're like, the owner of this big financial company, like the head manager said, yeah, actually, you were really calm.
Yeah, they thought you'd be ashamed.
They thought I'd be ashamed.
Yeah.
They thought, this guy that I was working under, literally, I think probably told them, she might be very emotional. Let's bring in another woman. There was another woman in the interview, just to fire me. And when I showed my professionalism, the owner was shocked. The head manager, he was like, "Oh, wow, I guess, yeah, I guess you can go get
message."
And then I sent him a follow-up message, and he was really nice about it. He was obviously shocked why I didn't go well at that office. I really think it's because I said no to the changing.
I think so too. And I think what bothered me about the story, like I wasn't living here at the time. And when you called me, you had asked another friend about it. And this friend who's also like pro, like equality and everything was like, what's the big deal? They're just changing.
It's a respect thing. We shouldn't be doing that in the office. I'm not a prude. If they were hotties, you know what? I'm a little bit sexist actually, because if they were hottie patatis, like Magic Mike type of man, no problem. Change in front. Change in front. I'll have my last day of the, coffee while you're changing.
Yeah, you don't want to see 3 Weinsteins.
Right. They were Weinsteins. Okay. They were, gross. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see your back hair. I don't go in the bathroom.
It's just terrible. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people need to understand that it's not your business, first of all. Second of all, you have a right to react how you want to react. And it's not for them to judge that. You didn't ask.
Right.
You're telling your friend about this traumatic story and they're like, what's your big deal? Like, you're some prude. They've been painting us with that forever.
Right. And I'm not this big prude. I'm not this sensitive person. I don't want to see a gross 45-year-old fat man change in front of me. I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think,
I think you can have values and still be a fun girl.
The women secretly did support me.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and they don't want to stand up. That's what we talk about, all these complicit people.
Right.
Who, say one thing and like, I guess you always call them keyboard warriors.
Right.
And then they're happy to get into your business from like a keyboard. But when it comes time
to push and
where
shove.
Are they?
Right.
No,
where are they?
They can't mind their business. And, it's like on the Housewives, like Sheree from Real Houses of Atlanta was called the Bone Collector.
I love that. Yeah.
Always like spilling the tea. She'd have like a secret and then she would tell everybody, and she was collecting all these like
Which that I don't mind because she was known as the Bone Collector, and
but
she
everybody
owned up
knew
to it.
Yeah.
Everyone knew.
And she'll tell you.
It wasn't sneaky.
Now she is minding the business, mind you, but she's also minding everybody else's, and she's happy to trade on that. You know, I always found that like people love to come and like give you the tea. They like to tell you what's going on, but you have to give them something in return.
Right.
But what you're supposed to do in that situation, and I find that that's how you also build relationships is, yeah, you give them something, but of yourself. That's what you do, not someone else's business. You share something personal about you and they share something personal about themselves, and a trust starts to establish at the end of the day. But on Real Housewives, she caused all sorts of trouble in that because it's not her business, but she would take it like you tell her something.
But that's good for the TV. But can you imagine working with a bone collector?
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And people love to do that.
Well, you know, speaking of business this week, it's all about my mans. Yes. Get the lockdown on your lockdown with expert garage advice by my husband, Nadav. I may be biased since I am married to the man, but he is the go-to for all kinds of garage door issues. He can repair any garage door. So if you're in the Vancouver, BC, Canada area, please give him a call at 778-889-7480. And we're back.
We're back. So what I'd like to talk about now is the joy of cozy, and I'm saying / the art of lazy. You know, lazy is always seen as a bad thing, but there is an art to it. You know, like after you've done everything, you've worked, you've cooked, if you have kids, you've taken care of them, then it's your me time. You got your glass of wine, you've put on all kinds, and now you want to chill. What are you wearing? Is it that sexy lingerie we see everywhere? I don't think so.
Who are these people? What I want to know that wear sexy lingerie around the house. Who actually does it?
So here's the thing. So when I first got together with my husband, he would give me all these really nice gifts of sexy lingerie. Now he's from France. So I thought, oh, I didn't realize it was really a campaign to remove all underwear that I might have been with previous people. And he kept buying me underwear.
So he would buy you underwear to replace
and he kept doing it like every event. I was like, more lingerie? Wait a minute. And then like basic thongs.
So he was doing this to replace any underwear that was bought by any previous relationship?
He did later admit this, yeah.
That is a good move.
I was like, what's going on? I don't need that much underwear. And the weird thing is I said to him, I said, I've bought some of this underwear for you. This isn't like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
That's really sweet, though.
So what he didn't get is because he's always buying me these like nice lingerie. He's French, and he's like a typical, like what you're thinking of, right? French. So lacy and
tall, dark Frenchman. Yes.
Ooh la la. But so it's funny. So the first time he saw my comfies, so he was like, what the heck is that loosey-goosey? So when I want to relax, I need underwear a size up. I don't want anything pinching me. Yes.
Right.
I don't want to be pinched or uncomfortable. I want to be on the couch with my sweats, but I need a comfortable underwear.
Absolutely. I can't even wear thongs. I take it to the extreme. People say, oh, when you start wearing a thong, it gets comfortable. I don't like that feeling. I always...
Not to relax because it starts shifting.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't do that. And I remember because when I had moved to thongs and it did get comfortable, I asked, and then I was like, maybe I should start doing commando. So I asked my doctor, I said, what's that? He goes, no. You can't commando. He goes, that's UTI all over the place.
Oh gosh.
I said, I didn't know that, so you have to wear underwear, apparently. That's the thing. Well, nobody told Brittany when she got out of the car, but not only were we exposed, but she was exposed.
I think it runs in in our family of the joy of being cozy and staying inside, because growing up, we could watch hours and hours of movies. And I'm now entering my 30s and I still can do the same thing. I don't like going out. If I go out, it's an hour or 2 hour window maximum. And that's the same with you, Chaya, right? Like you don't have...
Well, I find that like what happened is because of technology, like we're working harder and differently than we ever have. So I find that like a lot of things I say, I'm like, we sound like retirees, I'm like, this is not normal. Like I'm only almost 40, right? Like I'll have the energy at work, don't get me wrong. But then I'm like, I would love a nice peaceful walk. I'm like, a walk? Like what is going on? But I think we're all accelerated.
Well, especially
that's what I think is happening with technology.
In my house, I know you're always amazed by my big screen TVs.
You're set up like crazy.
So in my house, we have 2 big screen TVs, one in the bedroom and one downstairs.
I hold on. I need to tell people. So she lives in what they call here is a laneway house, which everywhere else we just call tiny house. You know, that whole movement.
I live in it, but it's a little bit bigger than those tiny houses that you see on the
she's got
wheels.
one of the bigger
I have
ones.
no wheels.
She's got the 2 floors. She's not a mattress.
I'm in someone's backyard. They built a house.
A mini house. It's adorable. She has an upstairs. She has 2 bathrooms.
Right. A powder room, darling. That's right, fancy.
Yes, it is. But she has, to go to her bathroom, you need to duck your head. So, because she's put, what is that, 85 inches? It's this huge.
We have a 75-inch in our bedroom, but we also have it like hanging. So.
And in the one downstairs. They've mounted it, and it's huge. You walk in the house, it's the thing. And she's like, even though it's a small space, you've done very good Maria Kondo type.
Thank you. I try.
You actually have an L couch. And her husband's tall, and they make it work. And,
and my husband, when I first met him, when we were dating, he was amazed that I didn't even have a TV in my apartment. I would just use my computer. He was the one who first bought me like a 50-inch screen in the house. And all the Israelis in the small Israeli community in Vancouver, I have yet to go to a house where their TV isn't huge.
Oh my God. I remember.
And now I can't go back.
For Suf Ganyot, and they had this
Sufganiyot is like a Jewish donut.
Yeah. So, we went over for the holiday and
at his friend's house.
So yes, exactly. Yeah, you had invited us. They had invited us. It was very nice. We just moved to the area.
It was a big Hanukkah party.
Yeah, but I moved. It doesn't matter. It seems doesn't matter what sort of space it is, how big it is, or how small. There is going to be a massive wall of TV.
They came in. Chaya and Bruno came into our friend's place, and they have an 80. I think it's close to 80 inches. It's a huge TV.
It was enormous. And they had like Disney stuff on for the kids, but I was like, holy bananas. Like, that is, it's a given. That's not even up for debate.
And then your husband wanted a big TV.
Yeah. Then he got FOMO on it. And he was like, wait, and I thought we had a decent sized TV, like we're just 2 people.
Well, now that I have a big TV, I can't go back. Like your TV.
Do you think ours is tiny?
I think it's good for what you have. Honestly, it's fine, but I would need bigger.
Really?
Now I'm just used to it.
Well, next one, he's absolutely been converted.
And that's what makes it so cozy for me. Like I can stay in. I haven't been to a movie theater in years. I don't have to sit in an uncomfortable, sitting like theater, what they have. I always have to go to the bathroom too. Yeah. When I would go to movies, it was such a pain because you can't pause. So now we have home theaters. I just stay in.
But so here's the thing. So now that I want to relax, and like we're used to it in North America, but I had to get my husband, he had never worn sweatpants. You know what I mean? Before, he thought it's for like bums on the street, like I'm a hobo. Okay. And I'm like, no, there's athleisure now. And it's the thing, you can get a sexy one. I mean, I was talking to my friend the other day. We would love to have, a onesie, but with the, they never put the flap on for adults. That's the problem.
And then you have to take off the whole thing.
Right. And you're like suddenly shivering and you're taking it all off to take a pee. They just need the adult flap so we could go to the bathroom.
Now Bruno, though, has really good loungewear.
That's me. First of all, he was very adamant against the sweatpants. So what I did is I went against his wishes. I bought some at Winners. And I was like, just in the house. No one will see. This man was traveling, like huge flights. He had to go to China for work in jeans, a belt.
My husband will not travel in sweatpants. The only thing he'll wear is an Adidas tracksuit.
At least that.
Right, which is loungish. But most of the time he wears jeans.
No, I don't understand. It's not comfortable.
Right. I go into the airport looking like a bum. I'm one of those people that probably are like, what happened to the airlines with all these people? But I need to be comfortable. I'm, first of all, scared of flying.
They're sexier now. Hold on. Now with athleisure, you can get cute sweats now.
Right.
You can now. And that's what I was trying to say. The same for him for guys. I'm like, no, it's a whole culture. And you know what I appealed to him finally in the end? I said, you can be like these athletes off duty, and I'd be like, who is that? What team does he play for? So that appealed to the male ego, I guess. But you do see that. He sees his favorite like athletes. And when they're traveling, they got the whole sweatsuit. And now they're mostly tailored for men. It's not the same baggy, business that the guys
My man still wears his shmatas, but he looks good. He wears the pajama pants when we're in the house. I'm wearing...
In the house.
Right. Yeah. In the house, I'm dressing like... I put on one of my husband's T-shirts. I put on one of his boxers or his shorts. And I just veg on the couch. I love to veg on the couch.
Would you wear a Snuggie? Because every
Absolutely.
time I see that,
I would love a
I
Snuggie.
want
They
one.
have now cheetah print,
Oh.
talking about our mafia women with
Oh,
our
yeah.
love of cheetah.
That's right.
Leopard. But I would
could see
buy...
you with like big earrings and your Snuggie trying to sex
I
it
love
up.
to do things at home. Like now that, especially with this coronavirus, the quarantine, I've learned how to do my own gel nails. I bought the whole kit. I love just being on the couch, watching TV, picking up my nails, doing them. It's very therapeutic.
You said you're going to do my nails next week.
I
looking
will,
forward.
yes.
Yes. I mean, I can't do one of my hands. I'm a righty. So when it comes to the other, I can't. And my husband, like I thought at first he was just complimenting my manicures, but it turns
they
out
like it.
It's like a rule.
It's true. When I started dating my husband, I always had my nails done, and he would come with me to the nail salon. He loved just watching me get it, and it's nice. It shows to a lot of guys that, hey, she takes care of herself, even
like
with the
that,
little
yeah.
details.
Yeah, I know. But, going back to that, so he likes all this like glamour of the nails. And then he's like, what's this sweatpants? So I try to get sexy sweatpants, but I need my larger undies for the couch. And then I'm like, you can relax, babe. Like I'll wear like maybe a cute little tee. Like maybe I'm not as...
No, you guys, you know what?
Cute,
for the
right?
record, Chaya and your husband, they always dress so nice in their
thank
loungewear.
you.
I, on the other hand, with my husband...
You're like stained.
My husband wears just his boxers. If he goes out, and it's not like a fancy, he's going to wear head to toe Adidas.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're in Adidas house and, my household. But Chaya and Bruno, whenever I had to drop off something, they wear the cutest loungewear.
It's just sweatpants. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fashionable.
Oh, thank you. I didn't think anything like that, but I'm glad I got him onto sweatpants, honestly, because he was relaxing like that in the couch. And I know it's important to be comfortable at home. That's what I mean about good lazy. Like when this all started, I saw an article that was saying how the Danish people, it was an easy transition to them because they have a whole philosophy around it called, I can't say this word, like hygge or something. But basically it means when they buy things for their house, it's not how much it costs or, what it looks like. It's about creating a comfy environment. And the question they ask is, does this make your house cozy? Does it make you want to be home? If so, then you've done a good job making it hygge or hygge.
Oh, HYGGs.
Yeah, the joy of cozy. Yeah. So and I right away when I saw that, I'm like, that's us. We must be Danish. I don't know.
Absolutely. When I was told about this lockdown, first of all, I'm an essential worker, so I'm still working.
So then, when you come home after everything's done, you want to relax.
I just come home and I just want to relax. And I actually get anxiety if I have to do something after work. It's come to that extreme.
You're like, how much time is this going to take?
How much time?
I gotta get home, shower,
if I have to go to the
eat.
supermarket with my husband loves to shop around and see everything. I said, babe, I am on a time limit. I need to get home. He goes, to do what? I said, to do nothing.
To do me. Me. It's me time. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. I used to always think about that. Like I'd get home and then it's like the dinner. And then I think about the outfit the next day even. Like I want to maximize that time of me.
And, especially when we travel, like some people, when they travel, they love to sightsee. And for me, that's working. If you have to have I went to New York with a few friends and that weren't from, they were also visiting. And from like 8 a.m. till 12 o'clock at night, we were out.
That's work.
That to me is not a vacation. It's, if you're
need
in
a
New York.
vacation from that vacation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like when I think of vacation, I think of just going out, dipping out in the beach, tanning, having a drink. If I'm like in Mexico, maybe I'll make one day an excursion to, the Mayan
ruins or whatever.
Yeah. But other than that, a vacation is literally getting a drink, sitting on a beach and doing nothing.
I agree. That's why my favorite vacations are places I've already been to. Because then I've already gone, like, for example, like, let's say France. I've been once. I did everything. And at the time, I was like, we're going to do one thing a day, right? But I need to make sure I have time for my cheese.
I don't mind one thing a day. It's true. It has to be fine. One thing a day.
But you have to see things. You can't go somewhere like that and not have, like, I guess, gone to the Louvre or we even did Versailles.
Those things you got to do, but then you got to go back home.
But the
after.
next time I go, because he has family there, I don't need to see any of that. I could just sleep in, have my little croissant, a little bit of cheese, or like his parents, de apéro. And they're giving you like champagne. Champagne for them is like wine. Like, it's nothing.
Okay, the French. Just at your wedding, after your wedding, we would go back to your house with your husband's whole family. We would eat a meal. I didn't know French people do this. My husband didn't either. After the meal, we're all full. Guess what they're going to have next? Is cheese,
huge
crackers,
cheese.
grapes.
No crackers.
Oh, I thought there was
Oh,
crackers.
I think they put crackers out for you guys.
Yeah.
No,
We never had these cheeses before. They were super fancy. And we told them how fancy it was. And they were like, no, this is just everyday, regular.
This is what I told them. I warned them. They were coming to the wedding, right? They're from France. And I went to see them before. We got engaged in
They're
France.
just naturally classy.
And they're like, I'm like, listen, my family's, we're 10. We're a little crazy. we're American. And and they're like, no. They're like, we are so down to earth. Don't.
And they are down to earth, too. I won't take that away from them.
100%.
They're just naturally fancy.
I'm like, you guys are fancy. They're like, not at all. And then it's like 5 o'clock on the dot. They're like, would you like a cocktail? I'm like, no, we're not doing that. That's not how it flies down here.
They're so, we were amazed that
super
till
cute.
this day, my husband will buy these fancy cheeses, Camembert and Gouda, all these cheeses. Before it was just buying cheddar, mozzarella.
They don't consider cheddar a cheese. I told them, I'm like, I love cheddar. They're like, oh, cheddar.
So the French really know the joy of cozy because they go the extra fancier way.
Mm-hmm. And they like to eat. They're really into the eating and the drinking, the wine. But none of them, for some reason, it's so ingrained. None of them are they're not having an obesity problem from this. They're eating all the wrong things.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. And they're eating a lot of it. I don't buy that they're not eating.
Every day, they're getting the bread. They're getting there's no consideration. The low fat is insulting to them.
Right. They don't even.
No.
It was amazing. Can
no Diet Coke and salt.
You're having this big meal. And we're all, lounging about, talking. My husband, back when I was bigger, would call me Meatball. It was a joke.
Still calls you Meatball.
And they loved it. And, we're all relaxing. And then they bring out cheese.
But we just had a big meal.
And
who can eat all this?
We thought it was so cool.
Oh, it's really cute. And they're so sweet. It's just different culture. But I'm glad that's sort of part of our lives now.
Because most people after a big meal maybe would have fruit salad or, light, a melon.
No, they're not doing that. It's like a whole other meal. I saw Wanda Sykes, she has a French wife now, I think, and she went over there and she did a bit on that. She was so shocked.
I love Wanda Sykes.
She's hilarious.
She is so funny.
She's hilarious. But somebody want to talk about also it's been a little controversial this week.
Yes, we're going to talk a little bit about a current event as well. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's this YouTube family called the Stauffers, particularly Myka Stauffer and her husband. This is a couple that on YouTube documented that they were adopting a boy from China.
So they already had kids, is my understanding. They had about 700,000 subscribers. They're making money off YouTube. That's their livelihood, influencers, YouTubers.
Right. They're getting money, they're advertising for, dish soap, dish laundry, a lot of endorsements. And they were documenting their journey on adopting a boy from China who had autism, but maybe other disabilities that were hidden they didn't know about.
But they knew about the autism. They knew it would be special
and they knew that there would be hidden disabilities. And on their way to adopting, they made it, Myka Stauffer especially, she made it very clear that it doesn't matter what type of disabilities, this is our son. We don't believe kids are returnable. Well, how did that change? 3 years later. And keep in mind, during the 3 years they have this boy called Huxley, this amazing little angel, they have been making money, exploiting him, putting him on social media, advertising products with him. They made an announcement that they have rehomed him to a more suitable family.
I couldn't believe it. I saw an article that was, it's everywhere. If you guys just Google it, you'll see it, where they said basically, they knew he had disabilities and they knew about the autism and they documented the whole journey. And then they decided it's more than we can handle. So we've rehomed him. And to me, it sounded like you hear this with animals, right?
It's disgusting because I'm pretty sure with their own kids, you don't have that option. And I thought when you adopt, that's your forever family.
No, they said now he's with his forever family. I almost expected them to say he's on a farm.
Right. I mean, they told him he's with his forever family. But when you adopt, there shouldn't be any difference between biological or adoption. And they've really made a distinction.
But how did it come out? Because all of a sudden there's this huge backlash and they admit that they, quote, rehomed their child.
It came out because their supporters were asking, hey, where's Huxley? He was the star of the show all this time because it was terrible. They would have episodes after episodes. And keep in mind, when supporters are saying, hey, where's Huxley? Where's Huxley? She's making videos of, she also had a little baby and she's making, hey, how do I take care of my little baby? Here's, I'm giving him a bath and And they're
Oh,
saying,
wow.
oh, that's cute, but where's Huxley?
Where's the other
Huxley?
child? That
They finally admitted that they gave him up, basically.
All their a lot of sponsors have dropped them.
As they should.
Yeah,
I mean, using kids like this, I think these people, how do you get away with this one? How is this legal?
I don't know, because I always heard that, that people who try to adopt, it's very difficult.
It's
to just
very difficult.
even get approved. And I like to watch, there's a little cute show called Seven Little Johnstons on TLC. It's about these little people who've adopted children who are also little. There's a lot of health issues that come from having dwarfism. And they know that. And a lot of people don't. And in some countries, there's like a lot of discrimination toward these kids, the people throw out the kids.
Right.
So they've adopted kids from all over, and they know the risks. And the same thing happens
and they
here.
happily accept it because they're the parents. Once you make that decision to adopt, that's your child. You don't have, just like with
You
their
don't try
own,
it out. It's not a test.
right? And just like with their own biological children, you don't have that choice to rehome. I guess you do if you called Child Protective Services, but you would obviously be under some type of jail or mental facility if you were to actually say, hey, take my children.
Yeah, this isn't like a mommy shaming type issue
Right.
here. This is very different. Like, they adopted this child knowing these issues. They documented it. They profited off it. And they had other children too, but the other children have special needs. But they knew, and they had enough time to what we're getting
really
into.
bothered me too, they said this boy totally wanted this. 100%. Yes.
Was he like 2, 3?
They said
He's 3 years old, I think.
Right. They said, no, he's 100% on board with this.
On board.
He is a child.
On board.
So it's just crazy. And I guess, Myka gave
He's
back.
4,
I guess everyone, needs to give back in this crazy time of coronavirus. And boy, did they give back.
But I will say this. Listen, if they really couldn't, I know it's a terrible situation, but you do want what's best for the child. And clearly,
you delete your channel. You don't.
Yeah, no, you're not going to keep making money.
In the middle of rehoming your kid, you don't make other videos. You delete it.
What were the videos while they were doing this? Like,
oh,
hey,
they were
guys.
saying like my life as a parent to a newborn baby, and they were showing Myka giving her daughter a bath and nighttime routine for kids. All the while Huxley is missing.
Wow. So it's just crazy. I mean, it's sad. I'm looking here at some of
and
these
her
photos.
updated video where they announced this made it all about her. She was saying how she feels like a failure as a mom, 500%. And of course she's going to feel that way. And she says, but we just want to protect his privacy. Total bullshit. You exploited this little boy. I think there needs to be jail time. I really do. I'm that passionate because children are innocent.
But has anyone had an update and found the child? Because I am all for the child.
Oh, we're going to find it, and we're going to update you guys once we get the news on this.
Right. So I don't know why they even adopted the child in the first place.
Well, I was actually watching this vlog. It's on YouTube. They're really good. Their names are Abba and Preach. And he said it so well. He said she has the white savior complex. And he's saying that there's some people that go to Africa to volunteer. It's voluntourism. And they're spending all this money and they post photos so they can be with a bunch of, impoverished African kids. Look how good I am. Look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they really think that they made a difference.
Seth Meyer has a really good video on YouTube. He did like a 5-minute white savior.
Yes,
that was hilarious. Like the girl.
Oh yeah, the white
that
savior
NASA movie.
That was Seth Meyer's skits are so good.
That was the best.
And I agree with them. I actually know a couple who they were getting married, and I asked them, "How did you meet?" And they said, "Oh, we met on Africa when we were volunteering." I said, "What do you mean?" And I actually got them to admit that they were on a program to help impoverished Africans, but they really didn't do much.
Oh, that's terrible. No, I've known a friend of mine who really did help and do much, and that was her
Right.
whole life's work.
But
So-
there are those companies.
No, it's
Vice
important.
News recently did a thing where there are people that go to the slums of Africa. There's tour guides. I mean,
Really?
yeah, it's a
I've
whole
been to
thing.
Africa. And
It's on
really?
Vice News. Yeah, people who like to visit, the
Just
slums.
feel good. Like, oh, let me see these slums.
Yeah, let me give
What a
them to
vacation.
charity.
Oh, at
And-
least they're giving to charity.
right,
Listen,
but they're
that's good.
still. It is a little bit.
We saw celebrities do this. Wasn't there like when Madonna took that kid, right? Like there was a whole scandal. Did she buy the kid?
Absolutely. And now I really think with this Myka case, they have to face some criminal time. I mean, this is a child involved.
Well, what's the charge? What can you say? Like,
Negligence. This was absolutely negligent.
think
She was on board with his disability.
I would say exploitation. Like if they were really like, I didn't watch.
I think it's human trafficking. What they
you
did.
think so?
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
they monetized off the kid.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the exploitation part. But I don't know if you could say negligence if he's healthy. Like the standard is different legally.
I think she trafficked this boy in. I really do, because she wanted clicks. She made hundreds of thousands of dollars adopting this boy.
That's their livelihood, right? Yeah.
That's their livelihood. So it changes. And the minute you are filming your kids and your kids are making you money,
so wait a minute,
it changes the whole relationship.
So you're saying we could take this podcast to the next level if we just adopt a child from an impoverished country?
Well, if we had YouTube, on YouTube and we're documenting it. She said, if you go on YouTube, a channel called Spill Sesh, the person, because Myka, deleted a lot of her videos.
It's everywhere. No, this backlash is
this
everywhere.
Person uploaded older ones of Myka saying, they tell me my kid Huxley is going to have issues and I don't care. No kids are returnable.
All documented.
It's all documented. So just really interesting. I think, she really, again, in this time of coronavirus, I guess she gave back.
Well, I just hope that little Huxley really is in a better place. So we wish you all the best, Huxley, and hope you're going to have a happy and healthy time in your new, quote, forever family.
And let's hope this time it's forever.
Well, we're wrapping up there, Puts. It was nice talking with you.
Thank you.
And you guys, if you like what you hear, don't forget to check us out weekly on iTunes or your preferred platform. Please give us some feedback, and we'd love it if we can get a rating. You can just go onto iTunes, give us the stars you think we deserve.
Go on our website at allkindspodcast.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter at allkindsweekly or on Instagram at allkindspodcast. We look forward to hearing from you, and if you want to discuss anything, just let us know on Twitter. Thanks for listening.